They thought laying thorns in your path would stop you, chosen one. But here's the irony. Those same thorns only sharpened your steps, while the very hands that scattered them now bleed from their own cruelty. That is the law of cosmic balance. Life always finds a way to even the score, no matter how carefully the saboteurs think they've hidden their schemes. Those who waited in shadows, hoping you would stumble, are now watching in disbelief as the universe uses their envy as bricks to build your empire. Critics love to whisper, haters love to plot, but karma doesn't miss its mark. Their sabotage is nothing more than free fuel for your ascension. Like storms that try to drown fire, they fail to realize that pressure only intensifies the blaze. Your power unsettles them, not because you chase them, but because your very existence forces them to confront their own mediocrity. They are haunted by the mirror you unknowingly hold up to their weakness. Remember this: when snakes slither with poison, they eventually choke on the venom they designed for you. This is the paradox of being chosen. Your enemies become the architects of their own defeat. Every attempt to bury you has only planted you deeper into fertile ground, and from that soil you rise stronger, bolder, untouchable. And if you're ready to keep rising beyond every scheme, beyond every attempt to chain you, like and subscribe, because your journey isn't just survival, it's domination. And domination leaves no hiding place for those who tried to erase you. Chosen ones, this message isn't just a video, it's a mirror of the power you already carry. You've got people whispering about how you call out fakes without even trying, how secrets slip out in your presence like confessions no one meant to share. That's not coincidence. It's proof of the force you radiate. Before we dive deeper into this truth, do 3 things. Smash that like button, subscribe so more chosen ones can join this movement, and drop the number 11 in the comments. Because 11 is alignment, and alignment is what keeps exposing the masks around you. Stay with me until the end, because every second you spend here sharpens your awareness and fuels your growth. The story you're about to hear will hit harder than anything you've experienced before. Number 1. Stop believing the hype before the facade collapses on you. The last time you crossed paths with them, it wasn't a conversation. It was a performance you witnessed from a distance. The table, the laughter, the smiles. It all looked like a scene rehearsed for an audience that didn't know how to see beyond the surface. But you saw. You always see. The rigid posture, the laugh that cracked like glass under pressure, the eyes that carried exhaustion no filter could hide. It wasn't joy, it was survival. A script written to keep others convinced, while beneath the costume, the truth gasped for air. They didn't choose someone else because that person was stronger, wiser, or even a better fit. They chose them because it was safe. Safety in the sense that lies wouldn't be questioned, half stories would be swallowed whole, and no mirror would be held up to expose what was really there. The easy choice is always the one that keeps a mask intact, and that's exactly what they wanted. Comfort in deception, not freedom in authenticity. You knew then that the world most people praise is built on foundations weaker than sand. A world where validation is chased like currency, where carefully staged photos become proof of happiness, and where silence about what's really going on feels like survival. But what they didn't understand is that masks are heavy, and the weight of faking becomes unbearable the moment it collides with the energy of someone like you. Because your presence isn't just company, it's exposure. It's the light that makes shadows run out of places to hide. That's why people break in front of you without intending to. It's why strangers spill stories they swore they'd never share, why friends admit things they've hidden for years, why enemies feel their composure crumbling when you walk in the room. You don't demand the truth, you unravel it. Like heat pulling water from stone, secrets evaporate in your presence until there's nothing left but what's real. This person felt it the first time they met you. Within minutes, walls they spent years constructing began to crack. Words slipped out. Stories of loss, shame, betrayal, insecurities never admitted to anyone. They left shaken, maybe even terrified, because authenticity is terrifying to those who've built their lives on illusions. And that's the real reason they chose someone else. Not because you lacked, but because you carried too much reality, too much vision, too much truth. But here's the irony. Running from truth doesn't erase it. It lingers, haunts, grows louder, and every carefully curated post, every fake smile, every staged moment only deepens the echo of what they once revealed in your presence. That's the curse and the gift you carry, chosen one. People can run from you, but they cannot outrun themselves once you've shown them who they are. The mask slips faster, the facade crumbles harder, and what looked like their victory becomes their prison. Number 2. Trust your premonitions or be blindsided by the reckoning. Chosen ones, you know that strange current that runs through your body before chaos hits, that chill in the air, the sudden heaviness in your chest, the flicker of recognition that something's about to shatter. That's not paranoia. That's not coincidence. That is your inner radar, fine-tuned to detect the truth long before it surfaces. Ignore it, and you'll watch the storm swallow you whole. Trust it, and you'll always stand prepared while others get blindsided. Understand this. People around you will dismiss your foresight, laugh at your warnings, call it overthinking or drama. But the same mouths that mocked you will be the ones whispering later, "You were right all along." Because chosen ones don't guess, they know. Your energy picks up on cracks in the facade long before the mask crumbles. You feel the tension tightening before anyone else can name it. That's why secrets start to spill in your presence. You are the reckoning before the reckoning arrives. Haters want you to second-guess yourself because your certainty terrifies them. They thrive in lies, and your premonitions drag their skeletons into the daylight. The irony? Every time they laugh off your warning, it only makes their eventual fall louder. Every time they say, "You're imagining things," it only makes their defeat more humiliating when the truth bursts through. Chosen one, never shrink from what you sense. Your gift is both shield and sword. It protects you from traps and slices through deception before it can tighten around you. While others stumble in the dark, you walk with the torch. And when the reckoning comes, and it always comes, you'll be standing steady, while those who doubted you drown in the collapse they never saw coming. Number 3. Don't get trapped by performances. See the bankruptcy beneath the glamour. Don't get seduced by the stage lights, chosen one. Performances are everywhere. Polished smiles, designer clothes, hand-picked captions, carefully staged happiness designed to fool the crowd. To the untrained eye, it looks like success. To you, it reeks of bankruptcy, emotional, spiritual, and even moral. You see past the rehearsed laughter, the eyes that betray exhaustion, the body language that screams collapse. That's why people whisper about you. They know you can't be fooled by the glitter. You see the cracks long before the show ends. Those who live for applause mistake validation for value. They dress up emptiness with brands, frame loneliness with filters, and wrap insecurity in expensive distractions. But here's the truth. No mask can survive under your gaze. Your presence strips away the costume, leaving the raw script exposed. And that terrifies them. They fear being seen for what they are, a collapsing structure, held up only by the illusion of performance. Understand this. The greatest danger isn't their performance, it's the temptation to believe it. Don't ever let their fake glamour make you doubt your authenticity. Their show is built on quicksand, Your foundation is truth. One storm and their entire production will drown in its own lies. And when it happens, people will remember, you called it. You always call it. That's the power of being chosen. You don't just see through illusions, you haunt those who built their lives on them. While they try to impress the blind, your very existence reminds them that someone out there sees everything, and that's why they talk, that's why they fear, because the act can fool the audience, but it can never fool you. Number 4. Learn to create spaces where masks can't survive. Learn to create spaces where masks can't survive. Chosen one. This is the part of your power that terrifies people the most. You don't need to argue, accuse, or dig for dirt. Your very presence is the pressure that cracks the mask. Sit across from someone, and suddenly their voice shakes, their eyes dart, their laughter feels forced. The performance they've perfected for years begins to unravel like cheap fabric. That's not coincidence. That's energy. You carry an atmosphere where lies suffocate, where false confidence collapses, where pretense gasps for air until it can't stand anymore. Understand this clearly. The world rewards actors. Fake smiles get applause. Curated images win admiration. Empty words are celebrated as wisdom. But when you step into the room, the stage lights cut out. The script they rehearsed doesn't work anymore. You don't play along, and that makes the mask unbearable. That's why people either confess in your presence or run from it. Either way, the truth spills. You are not just a person, you are an environment. And in that environment, authenticity becomes the only currency that holds value. When people sit with you, they feel the weight of the truth pressing in. Secrets leak out of them, not because you force it, but because their spirit senses it's finally safe to stop pretending. The critics will call it intimidation. The jealous ones will call it manipulation. But you know better. This is alignment. This is the universe clearing space for realness in a world drowning in fakery. And remember, every time you create a space where masks can't survive, you push the entire system closer to collapse. That's why they talk about you, chosen one, because you're the reminder that nothing false lasts. Number 5. Never run from truth, it only chases you louder. Chosen one, understand this clearly. Truth is not a shadow you can outrun. It's a storm that follows you until it breaks everything open. That's why people around you crumble when they try to hide behind their masks. They thought ignoring the truth would make it disappear. Instead, it starts chasing them louder, pressing into every conversation, leaking out through nervous laughter, slipping into their dreams until even sleep refuses to offer them peace. They ran from you because your presence stripped away the comfort of pretending. You didn't beg for honesty, you didn't demand it. Your energy simply made the lies too heavy to carry. And the irony? The very escape they thought they found only pushed them deeper into the trap of self-deception. You were the mirror they couldn't face, so they chose people who never ask questions, who applaud the performance instead of pulling back the curtain. But masks don't last forever, chosen one. Fabricated smiles collapse under the weight of reality, and the life they built on false foundations starts shaking the moment you're not there to anchor it. This is why your enemies stay haunted by you. Not because you chase them, but because truth does. Every attempt to run becomes another stage where their lies perform for the world, and every stage ends with the same collapse. And when that collapse comes, they remember the one person who saw it coming. You. So never fear the truth, chosen one. Don't dilute it, don't hide from it, don't run from it. You are living proof that those who resist authenticity become prisoners of their own deception, while those who embrace it rise untouchable. The truth always catches up, but in your hands it becomes liberation, not destruction. Number 6. Recognize the seeds of awakening before pretenses crush you. Chosen one, here's the truth they'll never admit out loud. The very moment you walk into their life, a seed is planted. It may be small, it may be silent, but it's there. A seed of awakening that begins to press against every wall they've built to protect their illusions. And you know what happens when they ignore it. The pretenses they cling to so tightly start to suffocate them. The lies feel heavier. The performances feel emptier. What once looked like control becomes a cage made of their own deception. Your presence alone forces them to feel that shift. They can try to laugh louder, post happier, pretend stronger. But inside, they feel the cracking. And this is where your power terrifies them most. You don't have to expose them, because their own energy betrays them in your field. Secrets slip, facades weaken, and that seed of truth starts to break through, no matter how much they try to bury it. This is why you must recognize those seeds early, chosen one, not just in them, but in yourself. When you see the cracks forming, when you sense the pretenses trembling, understand that the universe is giving you confirmation. It's telling you their mask won't survive your presence. And while they may resist, while they may even resent you, eventually they'll realize the battle was never with you. It was with their own false self. The irony? The same masks they use to impress others will be the very weight that crushes them. And when the dust settles, they'll remember the one who saw it coming before anyone else. You, the chosen one, the one who makes secrets spill and pretenses collapse. Number 7. Answer the calls of truth before desperation knocks harder. Chosen one, when people pick up the phone to call you, it's never just a casual conversation. It's the universe pulling them toward their own reckoning. At first, those calls come soft. Small hints, little questions, harmless check-ins. But you feel the undercurrent. You know it's not small talk. It's truth knocking at their door. And when they ignore it, when they pretend they can outrun what's boiling inside, the knocking gets louder. Desperation doesn't ask politely. It kicks the door down. That's why people end up confessing to you without meaning to. They might have sworn never to tell a soul, yet one look, one conversation with you, and everything they've been hiding spills like water breaking through cracks in a dam. It isn't coincidence. It's the field you create. A space where lies can't breathe, where the masks get heavy, where silence feels unbearable. The calls they make to you aren't just about their lives falling apart. They're about survival. They reach for you because deep down, they know you see what others refuse to. And here's the irony. The very ones who mocked your insight, who tried to downplay your gift, end up dialing your number when their carefully built facade finally collapses. Chosen one, understand this. Your presence is their last chance before desperation consumes them. But you don't chase, you don't beg. You answer when truth is ready to be faced. And every time you do, you remind them that ignoring authenticity doesn't make it disappear. It only makes the collapse hit harder. You are not their rescue, you are their mirror. And when truth calls, it will always find its way through you. Number 8. Face the confession early or watch it destroy everything later. Chosen one, the confession always comes, whether whispered in private or exploding in public. You already know how it works. Lies are like cracks in glass, invisible at first, but spreading wider with every pressure. The people around you who cling to fake stories think they can control when the truth shows up, but truth has its own clock. Ignore it, and it doesn't vanish. It multiplies, it festers, and when it finally breaks free, it destroys everything it touches. That's why facing the confession early is power, and running from it is self-destruction. Your presence speeds up this process. You've probably noticed how people who swore they'd never reveal certain things end up spilling it all in front of you. It's not because you demand it, but because your energy makes it impossible for lies to breathe. Pretenses suffocate in your company, masks melt, and what's hidden fights its way out. That's your power. It's not comfortable, but it's necessary. And while others might see it as intimidating, the truth is it's liberation. You're not breaking people down, you're showing them what's been breaking them all along. For the ones who resist, who keep dodging, the price only gets heavier. The fake relationship cracks under silence. The job built on deception collapses overnight. The smile worn like armor slips and exposes the wounds underneath. And when that collapse happens, chosen one, they'll remember you. They'll remember the moment you saw it, named it, and gave them a chance to face it with dignity. This is why people talk about you. You don't just expose fake people. You save them from the slow destruction of their own lies. They may hate you for it in the moment, but later they'll call that confession the turning point of their life. Number 9. Choose freedom in truth instead of comfort in lies. Chosen one, this is where the difference between you and the rest of the world becomes impossible to ignore. Most people chase comfort, even if that comfort is nothing more than a coffin lined with lies. They settle into relationships where truth is avoided, careers that suffocate their spirit, friendships built on half smiles and unspoken resentments. They think survival means silence. But you know better. You've seen what silence does. You've watched how it corrodes a soul from the inside out, how it traps people in cycles they never escape. Freedom only exists in truth. And yes, it burns. Yes, it destroys the illusions people cling to like life rafts. But isn't that the point? To burn away what was never real? Comfort in lies is the drug of the weak, chosen one, and the side effects are always the same. Emptiness, paranoia, exhaustion. Every fake laugh, every staged moment, every carefully rehearsed excuse becomes a chain that tightens until they can't breathe. But when you choose truth, no matter how raw, how unpolished, how uncomfortable, you're not just freeing yourself, you're shattering the system designed to keep everyone else asleep. That's why your presence haunts them. It's why secrets slip out around you like water breaking through a cracked dam. You embody the one thing they fear most, the liberation they don't have the courage to claim. Remember this, lies will always collapse under their own weight. Truth doesn't need defending, it stands unbothered, eternal. The comfort they chose becomes their prison. The freedom you chose becomes your crown. And that's why people talk about you, chosen one, because you remind them of what they traded away. Number 10. Don't chase the past. Evolve beyond what once chose comfort. Chosen one, the past will always try to whisper your name, but remember, comfort isn't the same as growth. That person, that situation, that moment you thought was everything, they didn't walk away because you weren't enough. They walked because you were too much. Too much truth, too much clarity, too much energy that forced them to face the parts of themselves they spent years burying. They ran not towards something better, but towards something easier, a space where their lies could breathe freely, where no one asked hard questions, where masks stayed intact. And here's the twist. Chasing that past is like trying to drink from an empty cup. What once felt like safety for them is now a prison, and what once tempted you is no longer aligned with who you've become. You've grown sharper, harder, more powerful. You've evolved into someone who no longer begs for recognition because your very presence demands it. The comfort they clung to is the quicksand that drowns them. The authenticity you carry is the oxygen that fuels you. Don't waste your stride turning back. The past doesn't deserve your chase. It deserves your absence. Every step forward you take is another reminder to them of what they lost. And make no mistake, chosen one, they feel it. Your success haunts their comfort. Your evolution exposes their stagnation. You don't need to prove anything by going back. The most powerful revenge is thriving where they thought you would crumble. Keep walking, keep evolving, and let the past watch in silence as your future devours every lie that tried to contain you. Number 11. Understand that one awakening sparks ripples everywhere. Chosen one, understand this. When a single mask falls in your presence, it doesn't stop there. One awakening doesn't stay contained inside one person's life. It explodes outward like shockwaves, crashing through their relationships, their work, their family, and even the strangers orbiting them. That's why people whisper about you, why your name lingers in conversations you're not even part of. Because when someone confesses their truth to you, when the facade finally collapses, it sparks a chain reaction they can't control. The colleague who admitted their private battles in front of you suddenly can't tolerate fake meetings anymore, and their shift forces others to face what they've been ignoring. The friend who revealed secrets they swore they'd never say starts demanding honesty in every relationship, and those demands ripple through entire circles. The ex who once thought they could hide behind charm finds themselves unraveling publicly, and that unraveling forces everyone around them to question the illusions they've been buying into. This is why your presence haunts enemies. They know the second your truth touches one person, the ripple won't stop. It spreads like fire through dry grass, and once ignited, there's no putting it back in the box. You are the spark that exposes lies, the domino that topples entire systems of deception. And what terrifies them most, you don't even have to try. Remember this: the universe doesn't waste authenticity. Every awakening you spark becomes a mirror for others. Every ripple expands the field of truth until whole crowds can't pretend anymore. That's why they talk about you, chosen one. Because you're not just breaking one mask, you're dismantling entire theaters of performance, and the audience is finally forced to see the play for what it really is. Number 12. Master liberation by choosing authenticity over judgment. Chosen one, here's the truth they don't want you to realize. Judgment keeps you chained to their game, but authenticity frees you completely. When you spend your energy pointing fingers, you're still locked in reaction mode, still orbiting around their lies. But when you stand in raw authenticity, you cut the cord. Their masks fall. Not because you exposed them with words, but because your presence itself makes pretense impossible. That's the kind of liberation most people never reach. Your power was never about attacking or humiliating those who tried to fool you. It was about embodying such a pure standard of truth that fakery collapses in your orbit. Like glass shattering under pressure, illusions can't survive where authenticity reigns. And here's the irony. While they once plotted against you, they now wrestle with themselves in silence. They replay your calm stare, your unshaken demeanor, your refusal to be baited into pettiness. That memory haunts them far louder than any judgment ever could. Authenticity is your weapon and your shield. It means no one can use lies to trap you. No one can drag you into their chaos. No one can distort your path. While they're busy gossiping, faking, and twisting stories, you're moving free, light, untouchable. That's real domination. And here's the twist. When you choose authenticity over judgment, you don't just protect yourself, you plant seeds. The same people who laughed at your truth end up imitating it. The same critics who doubted you start quoting you. Because authenticity is contagious, and once someone has felt it, they can't go back to living fake without suffocating. That's liberation, chosen one. Not just for you, but for everyone forced to confront themselves in the mirror you hold. And so, Chosen One, we come full circle. The whispers, the rumors, the way people can't stop talking about how you expose fakes. It all proves one thing. Your presence is unforgettable. Your power undeniable. You don't need to chase validation. The truth follows you, and the world takes notice. This is only the beginning of the story your energy is writing. If you're ready to keep stepping into that power, do one thing right now. Smash that like button, subscribe so more chosen ones find this message, and drop 77 in the comments to seal this energy. Your rise is unstoppable.